Hi, this is Ennis and Emerald from Never Stop Trucking. We are going to be talking today about owner-operators and carriers and how carriers tend to cheat owner-operators on their rate confirmations. Hey, Emerald, welcome.
Hi, glad to meet you again.
Yes, thank you. Same here. So we conducted some research. We've seen others do some things. We spoke to some drivers, and they were also kind of telling us the way they noticed the carriers would do this. And we wanted to combine everything together and give you a list of all the things that carriers might be doing to you as an owner operator, and what are the red flags, and then also what you can do in order to prevent this. So, Emro, do you want to start with how carriers will skim the rates of the rate confirmations?
Yes, some carriers usually do what we actually found out from other drivers and dispatchers. They would, most of the time, they would actually try to not send you rate confirmation at all. Uh, if you believe them on their word, how much you got, that's basically the easiest way they can do it. The hardest ways, they can do it in many ways, but harder ways are changing rate confirmation, creating a different rate confirmation altogether. When they change the rate confirmation, like PDF file, they can change it, even though sometimes it looks like it's not editable, but they know how to do that and they can edit it. Most of the time, it's really hard to spot the difference and to find discrepancies on the rate confirmation itself, because that font they're going to use is going to be basically 100% the same or really similar, that you won't be able to notice difference in font and things like that. Uh, so I believe that drivers should at least once in a while try to see and check if rate confirmations they got are actually legit, and if the rate they got on the load is the rate how much the broker actually is paying. And sometimes that's hard to do if they change the load number, if they change broker's phone number, if they edit the rate confirmation in many ways, then you won't be able easily to call broker, because first of all the wrong phone number is there. Next, even if you find the phone number on Google, which I suggest you to find, if you took like Coyote load, find Coyote phone number on Google, try to call them. But if you call them, bear in mind that your load number on the rate confirmation also might be incorrect. Then it would be the best to ask for a lane, like, hey, I'm this guy from this company, I'm doing this load for you. Uh, this lane for you, some example, Texas to Georgia. And then they're gonna say, oh yes, we found it, picks up today, like tomorrow, anything like that. And then you can tell them yes, and you can ask them how much uh, are they paying on that load. But once you ask that, that's gonna be kind of suspicious to them, and actually a lot of them will not even share that with you, because they know that company already booked load, that company already knows about the rate, so there's no point of somebody from that company to call and again ask about the rate. But you can tell them you are like a guy from safety, you lost the rate confirmation, your dispatcher is on the vacation, you can't get to his email, something like that, or accounting, or usually they're gonna just believe what you say. And sometimes it's gonna be enough to tell them, hey, can you resend that rate confirmation to a different email, and just give them your email. And once you get it directly from the broker, that's basically the only time you can be 100% sure how much you're getting on that load. And
It's going to be tough to do it with all of your loads that you're getting, but I would at least do it randomly once in a while just to kind of check to see like if one of them, like if you find one of them that doesn't match, then that's not good. But it's going to be hard to do it for every load. Like you said, usually brokers will not give the rate information to a driver, no matter if it's a company driver or an owner operator. They just won't do it unless you come up with a story like you said. It's sad that you as a driver would have to do that, but that's not probably the only way to find out the real rate.
Yeah, calling them is the real way, and the only original rate confirmation you are gonna ever get probably from carriers that do that type of stuff is actually from the broker himself. If they themselves from their email send directly to you, not forwarded email. If they forward the email to you, you might think, okay, this is forwarded directly to me. This is from broker. My dispatcher forwarded to me. That's original. That's easy. That's easy to change. So you don't fall for that. So once in a while, as Annie said, it's good to check up. If one broker doesn't give you the rate information, maybe next load, next broker will. Like if it doesn't work, if you pretend to be safety accounting, they don't send it to you. Okay, doesn't matter. Next broker will do it. Just keep in mind what you're gonna say once you call them. Stick to your story. You should be good to go.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to try, and even if that person does not give you the real rate confirmation, then you can call again and try someone else, call another day, or try another load. I want to point out that in this video we will be talking about more ways to do this. So this is not the only way. There are way more ways to do this. So we will be talking about all of them. But I just want to mention when you mentioned the PDF document, it used to be a few years ago, like 10, 15 years ago, brokers would send you fax. You would get a fax to your fax number, and then it was much easier to kind of cheat on owner operators like that, because they wouldn't get their original rate confirmation. Sometimes they would print them out, and they would put them with their pay stubs, with their driver settlements. They will save them and then attach them, and that would kind of be a proof. But most carriers did not do that. And then once we switched to email, brokers would often scan these documents, and then they would still be very blurry when you get it to your email. But now they can send you the original document from the computer, and this is a very good looking document. It's sharp, the color is white, the letters are really black. So now if you're using one of those PDF editors or PDF softwares, most of them right now will have some kind of AI, and you would be able to exactly match the same font. This wasn't possible until a few years ago, like 2-3 years ago. It was very hard to do this. And even if you were somehow to delete that text and put in another text on a PDF document, it would not be the same. You would be, and still there are some people who are not really professional at that, and then you can kind of spot that difference. You can see that it's blurry or it's a different shade. But now the AI would just automatically switch to that same font and size of the font, and you just you click on it, you delete it, put in your new number, save it. That's it. You would never guess that this is a change number.
Yeah, that's easy as that. When you mentioned that, some rate confirmations even today you receive in PDF, they're actually scanned document. You know those?
Maybe from a
Few companies.
small brokerage, someone that's working from home and they don't want to invest money in
Yeah.
software.
When you get something like that, or some kind of rate confirmation that you cannot, like when you go with the mouse over the text, when you want to select the text, if you're not able to select the text, that's much harder to actually change that rate confirmation, because either it's a scanned copy. If you scan something like really badly, it's hard to change it. It's not hard to change it, it's hard to make it so it doesn't stand out. So you can easily blur out the part where the rate is currently. Then you can just type the regular text over it, new rate you want to put in. The issue is it's gonna stand out. It's gonna be different from everything else, and anybody is gonna see that stands out. That's harder to do. They can still do it. They use they can sometimes when broker sends like I think Ajax system for sending rate confirmations. You know that link when you get when you sign that rate confirmation, then you get it on email. You open it. It's a basic. It's made on computer. It's not scanned copy, but you can't like just select the text, and text looks different. Whatever you do, it's gonna still look different. But what they do, and what dispatchers told me, they would go back when they did a load with the same broker before, or another broker that has basically the same program for rate confirmations, so the rate confirmations look the same, and they just cut out the part where the rate is, and they paste it in the new one. So it's basically you can't even find out that that's actually changed, even though it looks like it's not changeable. But they would just cut out the part. For example, your load originally pays $2,500. They want to pay you 2,000 because they told you that's the max they will pay. You agreed to it. They're gonna give it to you for 2,000. So they would go back in time, find another rate confirmation that has $2,000 rate. They would just copy that part of $2,000, paste it in the new one, save it, send to you. You would never know that happened.
If someone wants to do that, they will find a way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, speaking about scanned documents, it used to be really hard to change the PDF document. Now it's much easier. But I know for a fact that a lot of carriers will have their own software for different reasons to be able to produce their own rate confirmations. Some of them have brokerages. Some of them deal with other things, maybe with some contract rates, contract loads. But either way, what a lot of carriers would also do is they would use their own software in order to produce a rate confirmation. And that's what I was talking about in this original video that I made the other day, is that if you notice that all of your rate confirmations are looking the same, because there is no way they can book all loads with one broker. So this means that they are producing this rate confirmation. They're using the same software, and they just type in the information. They just take it over. Everything is the same except for the rate, and this way they can just put in their own rate. And then also there is another way. Some carriers will also have their own brokerage. And if they book a load through their brokerage, then I do understand that their brokerage has to be profitable. It has to make money because it's two separate companies. But still, if you have an owner-operator that drives under your authority and you book a load with your brokerage, and then you sell that owner-operator the same load for less money because you also have a brokerage, and then on your carrier side you also charge them percentage, then that's kind of, I don't know what to think about that. But also they would sometimes use this brokerage to kind of claim, they would say, hey, well, this was a load from our brokerage, it's our load, and therefore you're getting this rate confirmation from our brokerage. But then we're in reality, they actually got it from another broker. They just put it into their system for their own brokerage so they can change the rate.
Yeah, if they want to do that, it's hard to spot,
Okay.
but there are
Like
ways to do it.
yes, and then sometimes the dispatchers will also send a screenshot of the rate confirmation from their computer, or just to take a picture with their phone and just text it to the owner operator, and that's how they would dispatch. They would say, okay, this is how we dispatch. Here is your information, and they would intentionally leave out the part. They would not take a picture of the part where the rate is showing. And if it goes through with the owner operator, if the owner operator does not complain or doesn't ask, even better. If they do, then they have to come up with another way. But this is something that they would do often, right?
Yeah, that's something that they do often. Even they can even take picture of the part where the rate is. It's much harder to spot the difference when he takes a screenshot or picture. If there's a difference in font of the rate, it's much harder to do that if you just only have like texted picture. But if you have rate confirmation, then you are onto something. You can spot some differences.
Okay. Also, AI. With AI softwares, there are different programs. For example, I use Canva for everything, for all my graphics, everything I do in private or for courses, for YouTube. I use Canva. They also have a free version, uh, but the professional version can do wonders with pictures. You can, like, we are talking about PDF documents. And right now they're very easy to change because you have the white background and you have black letters and numbers, and that's very easy to change. But with real pictures, color pictures, and you have graphics, you have photos, you have letters, that's very tough to change something. But in Canva, you can actually do it. It's very easy to change even the text and the numbers, no matter what the background is. If it's colored, if it has a picture in the background, the AI will change that number, and you will never tell that it's been a different word or a number. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that's even something even newer than changing the PDF manually. That's like AI is pretty new.
Yeah, and I was also wondering, and I will do this test for the sake of this video. I was also wondering with ChatGPT, if you, what do you think if you, and I want to test that. I haven't tested it. If you upload a PDF, let's say you take a rate confirmation and the load is paying $1,000. If you upload it and just ask it, change this the number, change the amount from 1,000 to something else, because it can work on your PDFs, ChatGPT. I wonder if it's going to be able to do that with just like a command. What do you think?
I have no idea. I know that it can do anything with Excel or Word documents. With PDF, I don't really know. I haven't tried.
Because it can produce PDF documents. You can tell it. You can tell it, just make a PDF document with this text, and this is what it's supposed to look with lines and rows and everything. So I wonder if you can just upload a finished one and just ask it to change something, and then give you the finished version. If it does, then then that's it. Like, there is no way around it
Yeah.
anymore.
You
Okay.
probably it probably can. The only thing I'm not sure is if the font is gonna stay the same, but I
Okay.
think it can do it.
Okay. I guess you have to give it a really good command, or maybe try like few times and tell it to do it, the correct way. Let's talk about red flags. So, what are some red flags that owner operators can watch for when they're getting their load information? Do you want me to talk about this, or do you have anything?
A few times you can spot, especially when the market is good, and they call about the load, offer you a load, and most of the time they actually already booked that load, and they got amazing rate, they know you're gonna take that amazing rate, but they're now testing you to see how low you're gonna go on the rate, and they're gonna ask you, hey, there's this load. It might even with the cut rate when there's specials, even with the cut rate, that load is probably paying better than any other load on the market. But that's still not fair if they're taking $300, $400, $500 of the load. And the way they can do that is they book load, example, 3,500. That kind of loads don't exist right now. But if they do that, they would ask you, hey, there's this load, but pays max 27. And then you would go back. I would probably do it if they can add another $100 or $200. Then they would just go back and tell, hey, the broker said, fine, he's gonna pay that much. This is it. There you go. Then you get that load for that much. Or even they can sometimes keep negotiating with you. Even if you ask for 200 more, they're gonna say, hey, broker just gave 100 more, and actually they got like 600 more. They're just gonna get you to take it because it's still decent load. You're not gonna take like dirt cheap loads if there's something better on the market. But if there is, you probably if there is something better on the market, you probably don't even have DAT on your phone. You don't even look at the current market situation. That's even easier for them to do that to you if you're not aware of the market situation, and if you don't see yourself those posted loads. Sometimes loads are posted with the rate.
Okay. So in that case, if they're taking like 500 from the load and they go back and forth and they are saying like broker is not giving much more, even if the owner operator says, hey, I don't want that load, like that's not enough, they can say okay, and then like 10 minutes later they could call and say, hey, well, guess what we got, like, because they already got the load, so even if they get like 100 or 2 instead of 5, it's okay with them. So I'm pretty sure they could do it that way too.
Yeah, they would basically try to squeeze out anything just to cut the rate from the rate confirmation, anything. Sometimes that dispatchers told me, actually they would, when the market is good, they would rather cancel that load than give it to you for the rate that they actually got it for. Because if they once once they get you like really good load, like $3,500 and 1,000 miles, they know you're gonna expect the same the next time, and they know they will want to do uh, that thing again next time. So if you are going to expect that much, they're not gonna be able to skim your rate. So they're not gonna give it to you at all. They would either cancel it or give it to company driver or somebody else, another owner operator from a like different office in the same carrier company. That's gonna take for less money. So if there's anybody that's gonna take it for less money, they will give it to them. Worst case scenario, you actually ask for exactly how much they got. Like you are not budging from $3,500. Most of the time, unfortunately, they will actually cancel that load and will not give it to you.
Wow. So that's mean. So they're lowering your expectations. They're training you to like not expect too much in future.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I have heard of these the phrases and the way they're phrasing their questions when they're asking for loads. So this way, the owner operator cannot go after them, even if they somehow find out that they're taking money off of the rate. This way they can, and this way they can also sleep better at night, because they know it's wrong, it's not okay to do it. So they would phrase a question, say, hey, will you do this load for 2,000, or are you okay to hold this load for this rate? So if they say, okay, yes, I will do the load for 2,000, then they can say, hey, well, okay, well, the load is actually paying 2,500, but you said you would do it for 2,000, so that here it is. You said 2,000 is fine. That's it. So that kind of, it's all about phrasing. So if you as an owner operator hear a dispatcher asking you constantly this way, then that's, in my opinion, a red flag. It could be a coincidence, but it's like, if you get more red flags than this one and the other ones, then you should really look into other things.
Yeah,
uh,
that's true. But like you said, they would sometimes rather cancel the load than give it to you. The but you That's harder for younger generation, like younger drivers. That's fine. Everybody uses phone. Everybody like 50-year-old drivers, 60-year-old drivers use the phone, have DAT on the phone, and usually they see posted loads. But that's not like complete protection against that. Like one load can be posted for 2,000, they actually might get it from the broker for 25. You never know. And the best is actually to have the DAT on your phone, any kind of DAT, even the free version sometimes shows the rate on some loads. But the best is to always ask for rate confirmation, even though they can change it, like we already said. But you're gonna have the proof later on. Hey, if you find any confirmation that's rigged, then you can go to them. Hey, this one is rigged. I know. I found out. I have a proof. This is the proof. And even though if they say, like you just said, if they say you agree to that rate, like you can do nothing. But in their heads, they're very scared about that. And they're very scared, even though when they tell you that, they're very scared, and you just keep threatening them, even though you don't have to do anything. You probably even can't do anything. That's the bigger issue. But if you threaten them, you might get actually uh, the rate that they got on those loads. And once you see that once, I would go out of that company. That's just don't do it to yourself. Just leave that company for good. Find a different company that's not gonna do it. And even if you find a different company, uh, test them. Like see once in a while. Always test your confirmations. Call brokers. Do anything just to make sure they're actually doing the right thing.
okay. Um, so when you said that, I know that there are a lot of drivers, owner operators, who actually know that their company is doing this, and they're okay with it, not in a sense that they approve of it, but they say, well, I'm getting the money that I need, I'm getting the money that I want, I'm fine here. They're getting, these loads are still okay, but they actually know that the company is doing this, and that's, to me, that's crazy, to just be okay with that, and stay in that company.
Yeah, and somehow those companies have like 200 trucks, and like most of them kind of know that's happening. Nobody actually has decent proof of it being actually done, but they know. You ask any driver in that company, they're gonna say, "Yeah, I know that." Like things like that. They did talk with each other. Like once, if one driver takes exactly same load first week for one amount of money, next week another driver that was not willing to do that low, he was trying to get more, and he actually got more. uh, you can find out the difference. Usually drivers talk to each other within the same companies, so you can find out. Even sometimes drivers can find out on the truck stops or at the shipper. If you're at the shipper, different drivers picking up basically the same load as you are, going to the same place, you can like talk with him, like uh, and try to find out if he's getting the same rate from his company. uh, Sometimes they're gonna lie. That you should know that drivers like to over exaggerate how much they get paid to other drivers, but when they talk to a dispatcher, they're gonna always complain it's not enough. But to other drivers, they're gonna, oh, it's good in this company. I would never leave. but but actually, the truth is, it's not that good.
Yeah, the and this is kind of off topic. The mentality, the psychology. Sometimes it's really weird that people would behave that way because, like, you know that someone is treating you bad and you stick with them. And there is a lot of examples, not just in trucking industry, but like private life and whatnot, that people would do that. It's also amazing. I noticed in some trucking companies, and they have and like you said, these are big companies. These are not like five trucks company. They're bigger companies, but like the owner, the management, the dispatchers, you know, like that they're doing something fishy. They might be treating you bad, but everyone is sticking with them and they stay with them. And then I know a few companies that like close down their doors, and that was few years back. And they would all drivers money. They would close down the doors and they would never pay, or they would go bankrupt, or something happens. And then when they open up again, these same drivers come back to them. uh, and here you are, like, trying to be honest and transparent and like treat everyone with respect,
Yeah,
but like people would rather go to those kind of people. it's
yeah.
it's
Companies,
amazing.
companies as small as ours, like with 5 trucks or something like that, they usually won't do that, and we're doing all we can to show transparency to our drivers. Sometimes when we call the broker, we have our driver on three-way with us. He's kind of silent. He can hear what the broker says and complete booking process. That's one good way of knowing that nobody is doing anything shady to you. But yeah, like you said, uh, drivers, when they get used to one company, when they work for 5, 10 years in one company.
Now I'm gonna go to through other red flags here. I kind of have a list of red flags you should be looking for as a owner operator. If you want to add something, just interrupt me. But
Okay.
we spoke about some of this stuff already. So another red flag is not being able to see the original rate confirmation. For example, they just don't give them out to their owner operators. That's kind of their policy, or they're trying to get around it. They're being very difficult. You can't get them, because I've heard some drivers. I spoke to someone the other day. They said every time you want the rate confirmation, you would have to. They would say, "Hey, call the manager, or call this guy. I don't have it," and then they kind of walk you in circles, and then at the end you just give up. So that's another red flag. One more red flag is all rate confirmations look the same. They're built in the same software. Another one is the rate confirmation is from original broker, but the amount of the rate text style and size do not match the rest of the text. There's a different shade of color, different font, sharper or blurrier than the rest of the text. Rate amount is out of place, it's kind of moved up or down, or it just doesn't match the overall look of the rest of the confirmation, the text and the colors. Also, another red flag is you're getting conflicting information from dispatchers and managers. So you would talk to one dispatcher, and they would tell you, "Yeah, this load was paying this much," and then you talk to another one, and he mentions another price. And I understand rates prices keep changing, and that's kind of normal. But if with most of your rate confirmations you're getting this conflicting information, that's another red flag. And then another one is your settlement constantly includes wrong loads or wrong amounts of loads, because sometimes they would kind of be like, "Oops, I put in the correct rate, or I misplaced it with another driver or something." So if your rate confirmation and the pay you're getting is different than what you were supposed to get, that's another thing to look for. And then one more, there is overall there is lack of transparency in the company, not just as far as the rates go and the rate confirmations, but other things as well. Like everyone is being secretive and holding information. It's hard to get a straight answer. Now, What to do, how to prevent this, and what can you do in order not to be cheated. So first thing, do you want to talk about something? Uh,
No, go ahead.
Always ask for original rate confirmation to be emailed or texted to you as an owner operator. So
I
that's
wouldn't
a must.
I wouldn't say texted. If they text it to you, it's gonna be a screenshot.
Okay, well, it could be a screenshot or they could take a picture, but most of the drivers now use email because back like a few years ago, a lot of drivers did not use email. They didn't have it. They didn't want to use it. They didn't have internet connection. But like you're right, right now, 99% of drivers they have email. So
Yeah.
okay, it would be best to get an email. Uh, Look over the rate confirmation to spot anything inconsistent. Like we talked before, just look it over, make sure everything matches, everything, like nothing looks like it's been moved or fixed. Next thing you can do, and like this is not, you cannot do this every time. You cannot be on the phone with the dispatcher every time you're booking a load. But another thing you could do is ask to be on the phone, on a speaker, or on the other line when dispatchers negotiate loads with brokers. Right now, it's very difficult to do that because you have to act quick and call the broker before the load is gone. But usually in normal times, you could do it. And I have drivers who do it with me because I want it. Some of them will require it because they want to be able to, because some of them are really crazy on their rates. They would go way high. They'd be like, just ask for 1,000 more. Like, no, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, go ahead and ask it. And then I do it, and broker is okay. Well, let me look into that. And I'm sweating here, man. Like, but yeah, sometimes owner operators will do that. Be on the phone with them. Also, you as an owner operator, if right now dispatchers would book loads through email, there are a lot of loads right now, maybe even more than half of the loads on load boards that brokers they want you to email them. And what you can do, what the dispatcher can do is send out the first email directly to the broker. Once the broker responds and you think that this is leading somewhere, you might be onto something, you can include as a dispatcher the owner operator in the email chain as CC. CC the owner operator. So ask your dispatcher, include me in that email chain. This way, you can, as an owner operator, see their conversation, and if the broker tells the load is paying 1,500, and that's it. They have to pay you 1,500. I do have more. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah. Sometimes I would suggest to owner operators, uh, kind of don't be stupid with going forward with if you find something that looks suspicious, but you're not 100% sure. You better be 100% sure and monitor that over some time, few weeks, few months, or something. Collect those rate confirmations that you suspect are changed. Then find a different way or somebody else who's more tech friendly, tech savvy, to check them over before you go. If you see, if you watch this video right now, and if you go and look at one of your rate confirmations that you got from your carrier, and you find something that you think is suspicious, but it actually might be the original rate confirmation. Even if it's suspicious, you go, you mention that to dispatcher, to owner, or somebody else. Immediately, that's gonna stop, at least for few weeks or few months. When you raise suspicion, they're gonna stop doing that forward on. And if you want to get get them caught, how is it said, right-handed or red-handed? How is it?
Red-handed,
Uh,
yes.
if you want to catch them red-handed, you would probably need to have few more rate confirmations in a row and send to some professionals to check check over them or check with brokers and this and that. Then best course of action is I don't know, ask them to pay that amount back to you, and if they do or if they don't, just leave that company. So leaving the company is the best and almost sometimes only thing you can do for yourself to avoid doing uh, to avoid dealing with them.
There are a few ways we didn't like. I didn't intend on talking about that, but we can maybe touch base on that after we're done with everything here. Like what you can do if you find out that you're being cheated. And the next thing that I have here, as far as what to do in order to prevent this, is called, we already spoke about, it's called brokers randomly, and ask them about the loads you have done with them and see if you could get the real rate out of them. And the last one is when you start working for someone, so maybe you're leaving someone you actually got burned, or thankfully you haven't, no one cheated on you so far. You can tell the carrier up front, hey, I have been burned in the past, and ask them how can they prove to you that they're not going to do the same, because this way you're not blaming them. You're not saying, hey, you are cheating or you are going to cheat, but can you just show me that I'm not going to run into the same situation as I did with my previous company? Like, what do you do now? This way, now there's no way they can cheat on you. Now they know you're watching every step, and now they're going to go out of their way to actually prove and tell you that, like, we are not doing this. So if you find out that this is happening, like you said, in my opinion, unless this is some kind of a really big money, uh, maybe it's just best to leave that company, and you're going to save yourself a lot of stress and for everyone. But some people would say, hey, well, this is my money, and they're right, but like, you would maybe have to have a lawyer involved, so that's going to cost money. It's going to be costly and time consuming, and it's going to take a long time to recover that money. Or you can ask the owner, say, hey, just whatever you give me, I'll be happy. Or you can, I don't know if this is okay or not, but like, if you threaten to say, hey, I'm gonna call your other drivers and I'm gonna tell them about this, I'll post it on social networks, I'll do something, so maybe now they're gonna be like, okay, well, let's work something out.
Yeah, that's gonna definitely scare them, and they're gonna do something.
Right. Okay. Well, I think this is it as far as this goes. This was cool. I'm glad that we've done this. We've been talking and thinking about doing this for a long time, but it's like, now we got all the information we needed. I spoke to 2 or 3 drivers in the last couple of weeks, and they told me some of these things, and we decided to kind of collect everything and put it together. Now, at the end of this video, we wanted to introduce an idea to you. If you're an owner, operator, a driver, and you want to check and see whether this rate confirmation has been fixed, you can send it to us and we will check it for you. Now, in the beginning, we are going to be doing it over email. I'll leave the email in description of this video, and you can just put in your information, your name, and attach the rate confirmation to that email and just send it to us, and we'll get back to you. We will check the rate confirmation, the actual PDF document. Emro is really good with AI and with other techie things, and we'll do that for you. We'll get back to you and then talk to you about it and tell you our opinion. And then also, if this is a success, I'll leave a poll, a link to the poll in the description of this video again, where you can vote whether you want us to build a small, simple website just for this. And on this website, you can just upload the rate confirmation that you got, and then we will check whether it's been rigged or not.
Yeah, and then you will get email feedback on how much are we certain in that the that rate confirmation is rigged or it's not. That's for us. That's gonna probably be easy to spot, and we will also send as much proof as we can back to you. If we are 100% sure that something is rigged, we're gonna find it, and if they do something to the rate confirmation, we're gonna find out.
Yes, we'll find a way to find out.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for this conversation. I hope this will be helpful to people to learn how to prevent being scammed or cheated.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, see you.
See you.